Immediately, I run into one of my friends from pickleball and greeted with a gigantic smile and a hug. This friend was at a table that was passing out gun safety um, information. So immediately, I was told, we support freedom to bear arms. We want to educate people on how to keep those protective tools safe so that others aren't being hurt. Okay? At Pride. First table that I run into. Okay? Um so I had a shirt. I had purchased a shirt because I was going to be a volunteer. I had purchased a shirt. I wanted to get my t-shirt because the t-shirt was just adorable. So I was instructed, head down to information tent. This is where it's at. Get down there. There had been some information. So there was a sign up genius for the volunteers. There were different things that you could sign up to do. The beginning, obviously, set up, the end, tear down. Then there was other things in between. I read one of them. One of the sign up geniuses was that you could be a person who is a person of joy, right? That at these events, you just have to be prepared for protesters, and how we respond to protesters is with joy. So, music, signs, um, eh, varying signs that might say, love is love, love your neighbor, um, things like that. So, I knew that there was a chance um, that there would be protesters. I didn't know what that would look like. I mean, I didn't know. Um, so anyway, so we go down, we I get my t-shirt. Lottie's hungry at this point. So we walk down, then we walk up the street where all of the food trucks are. Got some boba tea, like best boba tea I've ever had. Um, some street tacos, amazing. And then she got some sliders. So after that, we grabbed our food and we decided we wanted to make our way to the kid zone area. So there was face painting, bouncy houses, bracelet making, rock painting, streamers that they were handing out. Every vendor had stickers, um, pins, that you can put on a sweater, your bag. Like when I was a kid, I used to collect band pins, and like I still have a bag that me and my friend, my best friend in my early years, made out of old Camp Buddy t-shirts. If anyone's watching this, shout out to Camp Buddy. If you know, you know. We made t-shirts, we attached our friendship bracelets to these bags, and we were super cool. Like, I was the kid who wore jeans and a skirt on top of my jeans, and then like a cool flowy t-shirt with like handmade bags and journals and pins and stickers and all of the things. I had choker necklaces. I was so cool. So, anyways, um, made our way to the kid zone, ate our food, drank our drink, um, and then I look behind me. Things are getting louder. Um, People are coming out with signs. There seems to be some commotion. Like, what is going on? I look over my shoulder, and we're by the kid zone, which is also near the main stage where there are performers. So there was a musician at the very beginning. There was a someone who was kind of emceeing the entire event, and letting us know. There was a whole itinerary. So like, which I have. So like there was a musician in the beginning, playing cover songs, maybe some originals. We weren't there to see that. Then I think there was a speaker. There was a gay men's choir, um, like a cappella, I think. Anyways, okay. Um, Someone that came out to speak, to just kind of give like an encouraging word for everyone there. The main message was like, um, belonging and safety and love and acceptance. And um, so yeah, that was the goal, and they wanted to make sure everyone was feeling that way. And that was a question that was often asked, like, do you feel loved? Do you feel that you belong? Because you do. Um, so anyways, okay, so I look over my shoulder and I see quite a large group, not as obviously not as big as the those who came to support and attend Pride Fest, but there was a group, and the position of this group was kind of in the middle of everything. Like, not on stage, and enough, there was space, between stage and them. But how Pride Fest was set up, was like a T. So we had gone down the section in the middle, and then there was, for the food trucks, and then there was the top of the T, okay? And this group positioned themselves right in the center of Pride. Okay, so they were singing hymns. They were having kind of like maybe like a little worship service. I'm not really sure. Honestly, it was hard to hear them because the Joy group kind of surrounded them with their drums and their own music. I mean, they were kind of crashing the party. Um, they were actually invited to the party, but they showed up in a way um that was just kind of rude, like, if you wanted to sing songs on stage, then you could have signed up to do that. But again, everyone there was like, they have free speech. They are free to protest here. They disagree, and they are allowed to do that. And so, what power we have to um, stand in what we believe and what we agree with, we'll use through drums and bells and whistles and our voices and all of this. Anyways, so I looked over. There was a lot of Southeastern Theological Seminary t-shirts. I was listening to the crowd. A lot of people are like, notice how many white men are over there. Like, white, how maybe in the past I would identify as a masculine man. I heard this a lot growing up. Just a man of valor. A lot of the men over there looked like they were part of grounds crew at Southeastern. I actually recognize some of them. I literally live, maybe 8 minutes walking distance to Southeastern. So I recognized some of these men. There were also some women, a few young women there that were singing as well in that group. And there seemed to be kind of two different groups. So there seemed to be kind of like a seminary, like a Southeastern group that was mostly singing and kind of doing some evangelistic work, walking through the crowds, trying to have conversation. The reason I believe this is what was happening is because this is how I was trained to be in spaces like this. I actually ran into a couple of girls who attended the church that we used to attend. Um, I looked at them, they looked at me, we waved. It was clear I was there for the party. They were there um, with a different mind. So um, it's interesting because I was there as an attendee, I was hearing people have conversations about these protesters, and it was actually embarrassing what they were saying about the seminary, what they were saying about the people that were there, and how they were experiencing them. Now, those who were there, I know because this is why I would have been there, um, just maybe even last year. Um, it's a duty. It is our duty to call out what we believe is wrong and sin. We think that it is love because we are trying to um we're what we think we're doing is saving these people from the hell that they are going to go to and the separation that they will forever have in relation to God. So so I know why they're there. Others are like looking at them like, are you not self-aware? Like you're kind of making your like we're embarrassed for you. You were invited to this. You could be having fun. We could all be friends, you know? Some people said this actually makes us not want to listen to them. It actually makes us not want to talk to them at all, or be friends with them. Like these people I was in lines were like, we're all about conversation and open dialogue. We respect people, but we don't want to have a conversation with someone in bad faith who doesn't respect us, who has an agenda, who is whose own reason for approaching friendship with us is to fix us or change us or control us. And so, you know, these are interesting conversations that I am having with people who are of how they're perceiving those who believe that they're there to do what's good and right and holy and just and loving, you know, and even loving. And so, anyways, um, they had boxes, you know, that said free Bibles. A lot of them were walking around with Bibles. Uh, there was also a group there. It appeared to maybe be four of them. There seemed to be one leader and then three other men who were just kind of following this man's um whatever. So, you know, I saw him like if something was said on stage, they would have some combative response. Um during the during one of the final shows, they were just screaming, "Whoa, whoa." And actually at this point, and I know that it's like a prophet, right? Like a prophet to say, "Whoa, you sinners." They actually tried to stand, this was the last performance. They tried to stand directly behind the stage. So to take away the attention from the final performance, the final act. Um, and there was some leadership, or what would be a better, some uh, a person on the board, I believe, did go and say to the police officers and asked if they would please have these gentlemen move to the side. They can be here. They can shout woe. They can shout their Bible verses, but please have them move to the side so that it doesn't take away from the the performance that is in front, of us, that the people who are here, who are attending Pride, came to see. So yeah, it was, all of that was just so interesting to me, and it was also, pretty triggering for me. I don't know if I've fully processed all of that, because I felt a part of both of these worlds a little bit. I had compassion for those protesters, who I know were doing what they believe to be right. And I know they think that they're doing it because it's loving. Yeah. So it's like, I see that. And then there's the side of me too that is angry at them. I don't know if I'm angry at them though. If it's more that I'm angry at a system and at an ideology that is creating people that believe they're doing right and harming others, and really not helping the world to see that we are good friends, like, yeah, I mean, there's reason why, if we'll listen to people and be curious about how we have shown up and how we have protested these types of things, and how they do not work. It doesn't actually work. You might feel that you did something good. You feel that you did something good. You feel that you were on the right side. Again, it's about you. It's not about the people that you're there. So it's still narcissistic. Like, there's still a narcissism. There's still control. There's still these things that you're trying to manage, fix, and no one is asking you to fix them, but they're actually willing to be friends. Like, friendship is the ground, it's not this hierarchy thing, like friendship is the ground. Like, let's be friends with no agenda, with no managing of the person, like just a genuine friendship. Not one to get somebody into the church door. That's not friendship. That's coercion. Like, that is coercion. That is narcissism, and it is, yeah, it's so sad. My husband and I, we were talking about the parable of the prodigal son, and it was like, pride for me is like the party, and these protesters to me were like this older brother, and it's like, we're not really left to know, did the older brother come to the party, or did the older brother protest? There's still a chance, right? Like, we don't have to protest the party. We are actually invited to the party. And I think both brothers are similar. They don't understand the love of God. How can they? Fully. We are all unlearning and learning what unconditional love and acceptance is, and the gravity that that has on us to to transform our lives. Okay, when we can allow ourselves to experience it. Okay, and so, you know, I just wanted to go to the party, and I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to celebrate, and to meet people, and um I wanted to be met, you know? And and it was sad that um not everyone could experience that because of a system of beliefs that I believe, and I'll speak for myself, enslaved me. It did not bring freedom. Um, but I want to add this as well. Mm, is that for now, or is that for another time? This is my experience. This um, this is what I am currently exploring. I don't want to demonize either side. You know how you can have one bad experience with someone and then you put them in a group and you decide the entire group is that way. Um, I don't think that that's true at Southeastern. I don't think that that is true of the LGBTQ community either. Um, there have been experiences um, within the LGBTQ community of no acceptance and no love. Uh, we are all human. We have all experienced different traumas that have impacted us. And um, we all have a tendency to react and interpret things through those traumas and to see people as threats and enemies. Um, those ways of seeing have served us and protected us, but there is a freer way to experience life in love and in friendship and in acceptance and equality, to hold space, even though still for people's trauma, and to support. Um, it is it is it seems counterintuitive, but the best way to help someone to see something differently is to love. It is not to it is not to fight to 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 fight for change, you know, um, to point fingers, to demonize. Um, so one experience of hate by a person who identifies as queer does not mean the entire queer community is hateful. An experience of hate by a Southern Baptist theological white male groundsman is not reason to demonize an entire uh, group of men um, or denomination or whatever. Um, but still allow people to have their experience. If they've had an experience with a white man who's been hateful, let them have the experience. If someone has had an experience with a trans woman, let them have their experience. um just let's also think in healthy ways about how to move forward in love and acceptance so that we can heal, so that we can all come to the party and have fun. There's no reason for us to not all come to the party. Like, there is literally no reason. We are all invited to the party. We're all loved. Older brother, let's go to the party. You know? Like we're missing out. We're actually missing out. Um yeah. So I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Lots of things to think about.